Hello everyone, welcome back. Tonight we're gonna there's a bunch of open PRs on the material design project. There's some open questions. We're gonna bounce through some of these. I'm a little exhausted. The stream will probably not go my 2-3 hour long length, but we'll see how things go. First, announcements. 1. Material design in XAML. Oh, assume it's not running. Stand by. Stand by while I do not have all of my stuff running. My machine had to reboot for an update, and so now I'm left scrambling for all of my usual tools. But if you can see it on the right side before I manage to wait, what are you doing? Windows. Launch application. Sorry, Windows Explorer just has decided it hates me for some reason, and I've got a string of command windows firing up on the other side. That's exciting. Let's see here. You finally launch? About time. There we go. This is what's important, right? Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. I've been threatening it for way too long. 5.0 has been released. Rejoice. And the shocking thing for me, usually on a release, this is too early. JC, welcome. Yes, I'm sorry. I may not be able to. It may be tiring for you being early. It's tiring for me. I'm burned out already, and I just got going. But 5.0 is out, and there was not a massive influx in bugs, which is usually what happens, especially on a major version release. So hopefully, if people haven't seen it yet, there is a migration guide here with a lot of the key changes called out for anybody upgrading. The big one in your likely app.xaml, replace material design or material design theme.defaults with either material design 2 defaults or material design 3 defaults. It's up to you. If you want something that looks basically like what you had in 4.9, go with 2. If you want to try some of the material design 3 stuff, slap a 3 on. If you don't like it, change the number. It's not hard. The bigger one is the brush and style renames. A lot of stuff is renamed. A lot of stuff is obsolete and removed. So there's some shim libraries. Just be aware, this shim library is to allow for a slower upgrade to 5.0. It's not intended to be a backporting of stuff forever, right? I won't say exactly when because I don't know, but I'm not maintaining backwards compatibility for these things. So it's designed to let you bring the 5.0 library in, upgrade your stuff over a period of time. It's not designed to be you can just use this and keep using the old keys for as long as you want. So at some point, just know these things will be dropping. Those will be breaking changes. It may not be a major version rev when these things disappear. So just to be clear on what those things are for. Then there's a handful of just minor code changes in here. Probably not a big deal. Most people were already seeing the shadow assist versus elevation assist changes prior to 4.9 anyway. So there is some of those. These are probably minor ones that aren't going to bite people. These top 3 are going to be the big ones. Okay. So there's that. Okay, last week we had a question that came up, and question looks like this. So this is a general WPF question, not necessarily specific to material design, using a data grid. Header template of the grid as a filter row. This works fine until one of the data grid cells enters in edit mode, after which the user tries to change the filter. An error occurs. And here we go here. So yeah, so some information here. I have this guy out here. I want to show off one cool thing. You'll note when I hit this drop down button, I got this cool get cracking button. And if you would like a cool get cracking button, you can have it too. I should have had the link open already. Boom. So if you too would like to have cool little buttons in your browsers for opening Get Kraken, you may have it as well. So that's the sum total of the magic that I got right there. It's really not that. It's not that magical, but it makes it from multiple clicks to click, and then away we go. And I have to figure out, for whatever reason, my Windows Explorer is just dog slow today. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Could not find. Yeah, go ahead and clone from the URL. Let's put this in temp, so I don't want to think too hard. Yeah, clone. And we are off to the races. Open now. And this is, I don't know why that thing's hung open. You have a fork of this repo? I do? I didn't even know I forked it. Huh. Okay, cool. Thank you, GitKraken. I didn't know I had a fork. That might be useful later. Okay. So short version, let's make sure that we got the right branch in question. I've created a filter branch of my project. Okay, so is filter there. We're back here. And then there's the prior commit down here, which I assume 2D AC9F. Let's see here. 2D AC9F. Yeah, so same commit hash. This is annoying. Might have to, we'll flag that on GitKraken at some point. I'm just going to reboot it because that annoying little pop-up shouldn't be there. Okay, so pro tip, Alt-O, you can open repo in Windows Explorer or open in File Manager. I believe it's Command-O on if you are hanging out on a Mac. I'm going to get Karnak open too, assuming Windows Explorer wants to play along nicely for me. And so step one with every one of these bug reports, reproduce the problem. Sorry. Something very, very important happened when I restarted GitKraken. There's a new release. Oh, I must have new release of GitKraken. I must have the new shiny GitKraken. I didn't know there was going to be a release. It feels like there was just a release. What did they fix? Okay, you can now add reviewers when creating a pull request in DevOps. Sweet. It's not going to directly help me on my current project because that's not how my team works, but that is a wonderful improvement. Lots of focus view improvements, which focus view, awesome. See prior video if you're confused about those. Experimental feature, Git executable. Oh, cool. So they've been slowly working on going from using libgit. There's a library they were using for their Git interaction that wasn't directly hitting the CLI, but it caused for some differences between when you would do an action on the CLI and when you do it in the UI. And so they've been slowly working on enabling using the Git CLI for a lot of things. So if you want to use it underneath experimental, and then there's this Git executable, you can turn it on right there. And it'll then use the CLI for doing it. Some Electron updates and a whole slew of bug fixes. Sweet. I won't pay too much of attention. I don't know that there's no major bug fixes that I was waiting to get fixed. So, great. They fixed bugs. Huzzah. Okay, so let's go here. And let's launch app. Sorry, small detour. I get very excited with my GitKraken. Okay, launching. Let's make sure we can reproduce the problem, and then we will dive in and take a look at what's going on. Okay, so we've got something here. Okay, so I assume this must be the data grid, and these must be custom header templates to get this. And I assume on the sim number, if I type in like 87, right? Okay, that's a pretty cool way of abusing that. Okay, so what was the bug report in question? It works fine until one of the data grid cells enters edit mode. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to filter and then make one of the data grid cells enter edit mode, which is like this. So usually you can, in material design, you can make it on the click automatically go in. Oftentimes it's double click, or F2 is the keyboard shortcut that never a user is going to know. Follow commands at top of screen. Oh, click on one of the data grid fields to change the cell. Click in one of the filter fields and enter a number. Oh, convenient. Okay. Yes. So I think honestly the problem that I'm seeing just initially, like the error kind of makes sense, is that there is. Let me find my way into the UI for this guy. Let's see here. Features. Should have probably paid attention to what we had open. It's actually probably right there if I do that. Ah, thank you, JC. Okay, so the one thing, and I'm going to relaunch this real quick. is it intentional? Because when I'm here, when I click here, I sort of expect this guy to drop out of edit mode. Like, I'm wondering if that's part of the issue right there. Is this is leaving focus, which should generally commit. So that yeah, not intentional. Okay, good to know. Let's see. 5.0 out. Whatever happened to the theme editor? I use custom theme for work, so I define all the brushes manually. What would you suggest is the best way to get a list of brushes for all the controls? Ah, yes. If you want a list of all of them, there is one in the repo you can grab and replace. There isn't a theme editor. Part of what happened is when building out the new brush generator, the theme editor kind of fell out of whack, and the theme editor basically needs to go through the same generation as the brush generator, and that has not been done. Let's see, where's all of my theme brushes? See, I wasn't prepared for this. There is one of these guys in here that has, is it the base theme color? It might be up in the base library. No, those are the base colors. Because there is a thing that will let you set all of your colors explicitly. And I intentionally generated an entire file, and I just have to remember where the heck I put it. Because you should be able to take that whole file and then just swap it for whatever you want. And because this isn't, no, these are all the colors. There is the, where is the color? Oh, here, I can find it if I go to the demo app. See, I helped build it and I can't even keep it straight, which is probably a bit of a condemnation on it. Let's see. These guys here. Colors component recommended. Okay. Colors recommended. Wait. Am I out of my mind? Themes. There we are. Recommended. Ah, there we are. There we are. There we are. No, that isn't it. That is not the... These define the color themes. Where is my list of brushes? I have this defined. Yeah, Izzy, I hear you. I hear you. I'm dragging, and my brain is only half working at the moment as it is. Don't worry, we'll get back to fixing the grid here in a second. But I do want to find this, because this guy here has the. There is a list of all. Okay, I'm just gonna go to the generator. Where is the output of the generator? Brushes. Okay, generator output. Where are you going? Brushes ignored. Theme colors. That's the input. Generate built-in theming dictionaries. VPF themes. Theme light dark. Yeah, okay. So let's go here. And let's go here. And then let's go. Where's dark? There we go. There's your list of colors. So, drop the link in the chat for you. So if you want to go through and define out all of your brushes, this is the set of things that is being consumed. And you'll note it is using these resource keys. But if you want to know everything in here, and hopefully everything is now more logically named. You'll note a lot of these things, they kind of got split, because what we had before is you would set one theme brush and it would end up applying to more than what you wanted. At some point, I do want to get that kind of theme generator built out, because there's the flip side. Some people want to be able to control these things individually, but sometimes people are like, I just want to set, my primary and secondary colors to be done and not think too hard. But they still want to have the XAML generated. So this gets you here. For the people who just want to set the colors individually and not think too hard, I recommend going down the code approach, and leveraging one of like the bundled theme or the custom color theme. These ones, they don't generate XAML, but they'll generate the brushes in code for you. And it'll still work in the XAML. But the resource dictionaries auto build those things up for you so that they don't have to think too hard. So at some point, I want to get the middle ground between these and these. But I haven't quite gotten. There's the two extremes, and I haven't gotten the middle one in there. But there is a desire at some point to build out a middle ground so that people can have the niceties of just setting a couple top level colors, that as it were, but then still get the XAML output for it. So yeah. And let me know if you run into problems. So far, there haven't been major bugs that have come through. There are some PRs we're going to look at a little later to get merged in. Nikolai has just been knocking stuff out of the park. And so as soon as I released 5.0, I immediately created a 5.1 milestone for the influx of bugs, and it's probably not going to be that much. The big thing is probably going to be Nikolai's cleanup of the floating hints and the text box styles, which will be epic. Okay, so here. So I think what we actually want to focus on here is getting this guy out of edit mode when we click. Because I think that's probably what's the fundamental flaw here is we're already at the bug at this point, even before I go to type. Because what this is saying is inside of a data grid, if the user's in the middle of editing a cell, you can't cause changes to the underlying collection view that's on there. Because what if the user was in the middle of adding something and then you filtered it out? Now you've gotten yourself into kind of an awkward situation. And functionally, it's like, well, we could cancel the edit. Like that is a thing you can do on your data grid itself. Let's see, is this guy named? Doesn't have a name. Let me just give it a name real quick, just so I can grab a hold of you. Data grid, boom, yeah. Right, so on the data grid itself, there is a, what is it, end edit. Oh, I need to give it a different name that's not going to conflict with the type. My data grid. Oh, and I probably should stop debugging. Picky, right? So what is it? Cancel edit. So you can go through and do something like this in your code bind that'll automatically kick it back out, because the data grid does have a lot of these kind of nice little hidden things in here so that you can go through and control it. I've often told people the data grid is probably the most complicated WPF control. And in a lot of cases, it's not a great user experience. I actually advised against its usage earlier this week on a project, simply because it is very complicated. And so you have to be real careful to not get yourself into a situation where your users feel like they're just playing with Excel. Because some people love Excel, but it's also not always the most user-friendly experience when something else would be a little cleaner. Okay, so we got that. So we want to focus on that header template and how things are going out. So let's just kind of take a quick gander at what we got here. So on your data grid columns, we've gone through and we've done a header template. Let's see here. So templated parent, text block, binding to the content. Very clever. And then a text box here, setting up a hint and a filter. Okay. Oh, and there's the reason why the end edit occurs a little late. Got it. Okay, but ultimately, this guy here has no, like, it's just a header template with a straight text cell. Is that true on all of these? It looks like it. Yeah, so these are all just text columns. And then the last one's, I imagine, not problematic because it's read-only, so you can't actually get into the edit case. Okay. Okay, so let's fire this guy up, and I want to see why we aren't getting the event for lost focus, because that should be making it through. We might have to go in, actually, real quick, before we get too carried away. I want to give myself something else to play with. Text box. Min width 100. I just need, I want something else that I can very intentionally move my keyboard focus to, just so I can test events going through. So there's my box. Great. If I go here, that's what we're expecting. But because this is inside of the data grid, I don't think we are dropping it. And that I think is the fundamental difference, right? So we can see here I'm edit mode on the cell. Here I'm still edit mode on the cell. Back down to here, up to here, we've lost edit and we're committed. So I think that's let's grab Snoop and take a look. I'm willing to bet it's the data grid handling the event, and because you're inside of a column header, it is probably the event is probably not making it all the way up. That is my theory. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna come in here. So everybody's favorite Snoop, and then we're gonna change the track events. I do wish I could go through and I want to change. I want a button on here that's like clear all, because quite often I only want a handful of events. And I just want to clear all and just pick the handful that I want. Okay, there's that. And let's go with focus. Let's see. Got keyboard focus, lost keyboard focus. I think those are probably the two I'm most interested in at the moment. Okay, so if I go here, what do we get? Okay, so got keyboard focus. I need to move this guy somewhere where I can keep an eye on him. I'm going to put you right here so I can keep an eye on you. No, not that. Not what I wanted. I want you here. I want you here. I'm going to clear this. Put you here. Move the focus up to there. Close. Okay, so when I click here, got keyboard focus on the text box, lost keyboard focus on the text box, got keyboard focus on the data grid cell, lost it on the cell, got it on the text box. Okay. And this is probably Material Design's auto click, move the focus into edit mode. At least that's my theory. Okay. And when I click here, lost keyboard focus on the text box, and then got it. So here, this guy bubbled up. He was completely unhandled. Interesting. So no, it didn't handle it at all. That's interesting. I'm wondering what the data grid is handling then. Let's grab the data grid cell events maybe. There. There. I'm just surprised that that I'm seeing false all the way through on all of these, meaning no control is marking the event as handled. That was unexpected. Okay, so what event is it going to be then? Because we could, so the naive implementation here is we could just watch for the event, and when focus, so one got keyboard focus, right? So the naive implementation looks like this. Right? So if we go here, we go here, we go here, and we go here, and I think we have to check. Is there, I thought there was a, oh, I guess that's a question. I guess commit edit is probably more likely what is expected than cancel edit, but that's, I'm going to leave both here because there's a good chance that, like, if the user clicks off, do you expect that to be a cancel or a commit? And I think commit is probably more likely. If I go here, oh, and which one did I do it to? was the first one, wasn't it? Phone number. Got it. So I gotta make sure I pick on phone number. So if I go here, now it commits it. Right? There, still doesn't. So actually probably not that bad of a implementation to do so. I am surprised. I'm gonna check one more thing. I kind of want to do it a little more generically because otherwise you end up having to do it all. Yeah, I know it's an easy fix. I wanna I have this desire to make things. I like clever solutions, sometimes to my own detriment. Okay, so if I go here, here, and then I go here, and then here. No, it's not moving through. I don't know if there's a good event to grab. I feel like there should be something here. Let me just we're gonna go perusing here real quick. Column header, yeah, it's just it wants to move it on the inside. Yeah, I'm thinking something a little bit akin to this. It'd probably be the easy way to go through and handle it. I mean, this is kind of a clever way of doing filtering on a data grid as well. Trying to think if there's an easier way to do it. I mean, we could wrap this up in like a behavior or something, but I don't know if that buys us much. Because at the end of the day, you really are looking to say when the focus moves inside of this. Oh, could we do it here? Wait, can I grab got keyboard focus. I don't know if this one actually fires. I'm trying to remember. We're gonna try this. Because I don't remember if this one will actually fire for me. Because even though you can register up on the event on the stack panel, I think because the stack panel is not actually what's receiving keyboard focus. Look at that. It will work. Sweet. Okay. That makes this mildly easier then, because my fear on doing it down on the text box is that you would end up in a situation where if you were to add additional fields onto here, like heaven forbid you go and add like a checkbox or something small on here, that's yet one more thing you have to worry about registering up for. Whereas if you can do it at the top, then it's a little simple. It's a little more straightforward. Yeah, I think that might be the easiest thing is just grab it as focus moves outside of the cell and then get your data grid out of editing mode in that case. And again, either like I'm going to move this down because I think I like this option better. If I was gonna leave you with something, I would end up doing something like this. I have buttons and combo boxes in the phones feature. Yeah. See that kind of thing there is I would hate for you to start adding multiple things because really at the end of the day, it's when editing moves outside, we want to actually commit, right? We want to consider moving up to the header, leaving. And this is going to be an obnoxious breakpoint. Because unfortunately, this is one of the harder events to actually do breakpoints on with WPF, because things like keyboard focus also require window focus, and when you have a debugger, window focus moves back to the debugger, making breakpoints a pain in the neck. So you can get yourself into a situation where you're just ding 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 constantly trying to get into a thing because you want to step through it, but by stepping through it, you've stolen window focus and it loses keyboard focus, which is really obnoxious. So, but yeah, something like that. Do you need me to commit this somewhere for you, JC, or do you got it? Because I can, ooh, actually, we're gonna do the epic thing. We're gonna do the epic thing. There's that. We're gonna stage all, right? Example using lost or using got keyboard focus to. Oh, I don't want to do it here. Do want to do it here. Happy purple button. Here, I'll move this so people can see it. Handling keyboard focus. This shows using got keyboard focus in the header to be able to commit the cell edit. Create patch. Let's see, just for peace of mind. Can you change the filter? Yes. Fire it up. So we gotta pick on this one over here, right? So I come into here, I come up here, and then I do 2, 3, 4. Oh, look at that. You make it refresh not allowed during an add or edit. It didn't commit on the view. Okay, hold on before we get too carried away. We got one more thing then. Okay, so I'm curious, how did I get here? So this is on... Oh, hush. Don't compile. It's just an observable property. Yeah. So filter phone number changed. Filter view. But it's not editing. What I'm confused about. Okay, so hang on. I want to look at this call stack. Collection view refresh. Oh, is this the... Hang on. What is your problem? Just want to view disassembly. Show me. Oh, not that. Well, hang on. This might be enough. Do linear search. Items container generator. I'm looking for where we came in here from. Both cell edit and row edit. Oh, okay. Well, let's filter phone number. Let's grab this guy. What is it doing? Why? Okay. Wondering if I had this thing in a very dorked up state. Let's see. Let's just grab this guy here real quick and keep an eye on him, because let's make sure we're actually getting in here. Because I expect that I do get there. Row edit ending. Oh, interesting. So it didn't add... What is commit edit doing then? Cell edit and row edit. Okay, so hang on. What you know what? I'm actually curious to just grab this and snoop and look at the settings on that cell and the row then. If we go here, so third one, just keep me honest. There. Then I want to look at you. Okay, data grid cell. Edit. Is editing is false. Okay, so the cell is not in an editing state. The row is in an editing state. That's interesting. Why is the row in an editing state? And why does it say that it's coming from a local? Interesting. Have you, JC, have you tested this without materials design at play? The fact that this says local is giving me a bit of pause because you didn't do anything in here. Yeah, I'm... Just sanity check real quick. What? Oh, we've got packages, props. It's 4.9. It's not old. There's nothing fancy in here that would be changing it. Yeah, that's all fine there. So why is the row did say you need to cancel commit both? Did you do you have a link to that Stack Overflow article by any chance, JC? I'm curious what they were recommending then, because I would have. No, that's fine. We're gonna go down this path here real quick. I'm curious why. Interesting. Interesting. Did I put the link in the prior commit? Take a look. Let's see. Not in the comments at least, but let me look at the individual files. Not there. Just comments. No. No. Ahaha. Yes. Yes, you did. Stand by one moment. Up this. Go away. Okay. And there. Okay. For commit. You've got to be joking me. Doing it twice? Okay. This I have to see. This no. There's no way, right? So I go here. Yeah, I agree what they're saying is one for the cell, one for the row, but if that works... Oh. Need to kill this breakpoint. Wow. Selection unit have anything to do with it? It might, Victor, it might. Wow, so you invoke twice. Okay. Microsoft, please tell me you at least documented this. Commit cell or row. Returns 2 of the current cell exit edit mode or no. Okay. Okay. So one, I like the mixing of true and no because it's not like we have a word that means not true. It's false. Or if no cells or rows are in edit mode, otherwise false. Okay, I misread that. Never mind. Never mind. I take it back, Microsoft. That's on me. But there's no way to look at... Let's take a... I like your theory, Victor. Selection unit. Right? I wonder what this guy defaults to, because I can't remember now. Actually, you know what? We don't need it. We don't need to test it here. We can defaults to full row, I think. One way to find out. One easy way to find out. And I'm doing it this way rather than looking at the source because I want to confirm, like, I don't think Material Design is doing anything weird in setting it, but you know what? We're just gonna full row. You are correct. So if we do cell, oh, but I've now, hang on. Let's go in here. If we do just cell, can we get away with a single one? I go here, here. Nope. Nope. So selection unit doesn't make any sense. And I suppose you technically could do this, right? You don't have to blindly call. You can get I'm fairly confident you can get away with this maneuver of only invoking twice if the first one returned true. Did I change it to cell? Yeah, I changed it in Snoop. That way it would move. Because here, now I can do and get away with it. Wow, okay. JC, I learned something new tonight. I am very curious to look at, let me close some stuff down so I don't keep getting lost in it. The WPF, data grid, commit, edit. I want to see if they have, without committing this. Wow, okay. So they do actually have it in the remarks on it. It's interesting, and I think the reason they probably have that separation is because when you use like the new row to create a new item, like when you're editing an existing item, there's not a big difference between whole object committed and property committed because those are the same thing. Commit edit. Oh, hang on. We've got an hang on. Can we do I didn't look for overloads. Oh, look at that. Okay, so what's the defaults here? More than once, wondering if it should be in a while loop. You ask an excellent question, Izzy. That feels so wrong to me though. It feels so wrong. Okay, I wanna go look at this commit edit method. I wanna know what these defaults are. Okay, yeah, the one without an overload. Dang nabbit. See, wouldn't it be great if these bools weren't private? And the thing it's acting on is internal. Like, this is just frustrating. So this is there's the reason for needing to call it twice. Is because it checks is editing current cell. Yeah, so if anybody wants to play along at home. Yeah, but to answer your question, Izzy, so no, there's no chance, and this is also why apparently it's going to return true. If we did a while loop, it would be an infinite loop because the else block down here apparently just always returned true. True if the current cell or row exits edit mode. I'm calling bull. This is misleading because if there is no cell in edit mode and no row in edit mode, we blindly return true. So it also returns true when neither of them are in edit mode. What the heck, guys? What the heck? Exit edit mode. I think though we can get away with this. Yeah. I think we can fix this with the overload though. Okay. I think okay. Now I'm convinced. Okay, so option A, which this is basically okay. The if state okay. As dumb as it looks, the if statement is actually meaningless because that else case blindly returns true always. So that's just dumb. All right? So option A. Okay, option B. I think we can get away by doing this. Because I think we do this and this. I think we can get away with that. Let's try it. I think this works. We go here. Go here. Nope. Okay, so I want to switch that to row. Oh, actually, is this a flagged enum? No. So let's do row. Because I guess we do want to commit the whole thing. It's a little weird to me that it lets the row be in edit mode when it wants to add new item. There we go. There we go. Muchos happier. There we go. So, okay, better option. One method call rather than two. That is so dumb though. Does the cancel edit have a similar overload, I assume? It does. It does. It does. So I assume if we did this to do the opposite, right? I'm betting this works as well. So short version, set the data grid editing unit to row. And then you're golden. So I'll one-up Stack Overflow answer. SO way. Slightly better way. But I think then you can handle it that way. Okay. I'm going to go here. Stage. Let's see. Updating about handling keyboard focus to move cell out of edit mode. This fixes the crash when applying a filter. Click button. Patch link. Booyah. So if anybody has Get Kraken, you can now just directly apply the patch. Isn't that cool? Cloud patches. Cloud patches are cool, especially for open source stuff like this, because I can just fire them off. If you don't have that button there, just make sure file preferences. And then I believe it's still experimental. Oh, no, there is no longer a checkbox for it. There used to be a way to turn it off, but that is apparently gone. So scratch that. Just do as I said there. Okay. Okay, let's jump. And no problem, JC. Let's jump to material design real quick. Oop, stand by. I got to get some stuff cleared out because apparently I did not have my... I got a bunch of stuff open that I probably shouldn't have had open. Okay. Close. Okay. So let's go back here. And material design PRs. Okay, so not surprisingly, Nikolai has been killing it. And then there was also this PR here that came in that fixed a bunch of issues. And so I was going to take a look at this one here. So this one is actually dealing with quite a few auto suggest box issues. So we're gonna go through this. This control was added in, and it's a nice control that has been requested quite a bit, but it's also been incredibly problematic for the UI tests. I think I've spent a good deal of time chasing it. So let's see, fix styling issue on the fields page. Be big. Actually, can I just do be big? Okay. Addressed an issue with the drop-down list background color not being dynamic. Dynamic colors to resolve it. Oh, look at this. We'll watch a little movie. Because I clearly didn't catch any of these. Let's see, down here. Yeah, well, yeah, you can see one of the bugs right there. So yeah, that's problematic. So yeah, especially in dark theme is highly problematic, and those ones there. And then I'm guessing in light mode, at least the colors are probably a little better. Yeah, so those now show up. Okay, great. Makes sense. And then the click isn't fixing. Okay. Let's check this out. What I really want is an ability to playback speed. There we go. Boom. Speed it up a little bit. I mean, that already looks a lot better. Sweet. Oh, and they're all now bound to the same value, it looks like. At least the latter three are. Okay. Cool. Let's take a look. Only 3 files changed. How bad could it be? Okay, step 1. I assume this was the overlapping problem where they were both set on top of each other. So that was just a simple one. That's fine. That's also a demo app. Okay, and now this is an interesting one here. So this is switching from a not equals operator to using the equals method with a not. I am curious if this, when would you get different behavior over those? So you can get different behavior in the cases where a type defines the operator and does it differently, because operators can be overridden and applied to a custom type. This is probably better anyway. Is not different again. Different again. JC, I might need, maybe I'm missing something. This is not equals, and this has a not and then equals method. Am I missing something obvious? I think logically these things are usually the same, but they may not be for all types. And normally I would tell people to use the A is not B. Let's look at box, select the item. Must be missing. Oh man. So this one down here, I feel just stupid for not catching myself. A is not B rather than not equals. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. So inside of WPF, because everything is object, or I shouldn't say everything, generics were introduced about the same time WPF released, which meant that while WPF was being developed, there were no generics in C#. Like, that wasn't a thing. And so That's part of the reason why WPF doesn't have generic, because ideally things like dependency properties wouldn't be just object on everything, because you end up boxing everything all over the place. And you'll find some fun code in the WPF source where they avoid trying to box primitives where they know it's a bool or similar things. And selected index -1. Oh, I wonder if this selected index one is the reason for some of the UI test failures. Okay, last thing I want to do. I want to go here. I want to go here. I want to go pull requests. I would like to open up, let's see, add remote and checkout, please. Pretty please. Checkout branch. Okay. Open folder. And I want to go just run this guy real quick, but I think this is probably going to be just fine. I'm going to strongly suspect that this is just going to match the demo video that I just saw, so probably just fine. I got way too many tabs open. I got to close some stuff. Too much stuff open. There we go. Okay. Demo app launch. Let's take a look and see here. So this should match, and this should probably be an easy approve. I don't like it. I'm going to hit the approve button first while I'm waiting for this to launch. And then just as a formality, we're going to go through and just double check it. But I strongly suspect this is just fine. At minimum, it's not making it worse. So even if it's not all the way better, sometimes somewhat better is okay. Here. Okay, so fields all the way to the bottom. Okay, so we've got this. Why am I not getting Oh, this is where I actually have to type, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. You have to remember how to actually use it. So obviously we're going to test with Fuchsia because that is what everyone should use, is Fuchsia. If I do Fuchsia, great, clear, Fuchsia, got it. I was expecting the click to also pop it, but I'm recalling that that's not the way that this guy is intended to work, because that is very much combo box behavior, and this is auto suggest box. Cool. I like it. Just want to double check. These guys are all data bound to the same thing, right? Text, update source trigger, property changed, mode two-way. I'm going to go with you guys are all bound to the same thing, which is why you're all updating immediately on property change. Okay. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Sweet. Wonderful fix. Ship it. Let's just make sure I put it in the right milestone. 5.1. Great. Release notes. And send it. Okay, let's go here. Should probably review these things in chronological order, but Okay, let's scroll viewer in password box styles, bubble up the mouse wheel events. Bubble vertical scroll. Interesting. I wonder fixes. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see what is the bug in question. Okay. Password box is placed in a scroll viewer. Oh, I've seen this. It's annoying. This is annoying. I was meaning to go through and track down which control this was doing. This is a good fix. Put that in the milestone. So the idea here is when you're hovering over a control, as you're scrolling, your mouse cursor is hovering over different elements. And if one of those elements hijacks your mouse wheel and doesn't propagate the event, you just stop scrolling when your cursor gets over that thing. It's very annoying when things do this. Excellent. Beautiful fix, Nikolai. Beautiful fix. And obviously, in case people aren't aware, there is a nice attached property in the material design library for handling it. The oftentimes I favor attached properties not having behavior attached to them, but sometimes, especially with ones like that, it's a nice thing to do. There's a balancing act, I think, to be done between when you should put behavior behind your attached properties versus when you should just let them be data only. Okay, I went too far. Okay, pair smart hint refactor, and actually, okay, this one here, we'll circle back to it because I remember looking at that on one of my other streams. And this, oh no, this is slightly different. Okay. I would like to make these changes in addition to the demo app in order to avoid cluttering the, okay. Sweet. So this is pre stuff, and Nikolai's been messaging me about a bunch of these changes coming in with the smart hint. So with the current release, the smart hint, there's a lot of magic numbers in it. Like it tries to do some math and get the thing positioned properly, and it's the problem with magic numbers is there's so many inputs inside of WPF. You've got the font family, the font size, the horizontal alignment, all of this stuff can play into where to position it, and it's a pain in the rear. Absolute pain in the rear. So this ends up cleaning it up. At some point too, I think it would be nice if we migrated off. Like when I first took over the material design project, there was a directive given that was, hey, we don't want to show preference to any MVVM framework in particular, because, you know, there's several of them out there, and we want to be, you know, we don't want to necessarily be playing favorites. I kind of feel like that ship has sailed a little bit, and Community Toolkit won, because a lot of the ones that were out there that were competing have died off. And at this point, I think the only thing I could pick besides Community Toolkit, or at least that I would respect the decision of, is if somebody went with Prism. I think that might be the only other one out there that I've seen. There's a handful of weird ones that do some fun stuff with like IL weaving, but I don't think I would favor those over the source gen and the raw performance of Community Toolkit at this point. Okay, so let's see. So this is just straight cleanup. And this is actually really instructional too. So when you are making a bindable property in your view model, this is a bad implementation. Please do not do this. What is wrong with this? So when you call the setter on the float hint property, this sets the backing field and then raises the property changed event. The problem is this blindly raises the property changed event. So imagine if we set float hint to 42 and then we set float hint to 42 again. We're raising the property changed event on both of those assignments, even though the property hasn't actually changed. So it's wasteful and causes your bindings to reevaluate when they don't need to be. These helper methods like set property or similar, you'll note what people will call a good implementation is there is a check at the beginning of this saying, hey, if value is equal to float hint, don't do anything. Just stop, right? If the same value is coming in, we're not going to do anything. If they're different, then we'll go ahead and do the assignment and raise the property change event. Great. But that if check is the big difference between these, and that's what this method here is getting you, is a functional if check and then raising the event when needed. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's just changing all these. I'm just briefly glancing at each of these to make sure that the field name matches the getter, because that's, I know for me, I do a lot of copy and paste, and sometimes you get those wrong, and that's not good. Copy paste is good. Copy paste lazily, bad. This one immediately draws my attention. Show character counter. And the reason why this one catches my attention is because this one is weird. Like, I see a computed property, totally fine, and then I see a setter that does math. What are we doing here? Show character counter. Oh, interesting. Okay, so So it's doing a max length here. And this is actually something else that's instructional. Here, you know what? Let's do this. Check out. Boom, boom, boom. And then I should have this guy here. And then what file am I in? I already forgot. Smart hint view model. We're just going to clean this up in here since I know Nikolai already knows all this stuff, but it's the demo app, so sometimes it gets treated a little less useful. So a slightly better thing, you'll note the set property method returns a Boolean, right? So this Boolean indicates whether the value changed or not. So if this value, if this guy returns false, we probably don't need to raise property changed here. So slightly better is this. And then value equals true is the same as just value. So the only time you really need an equals true is if value were like a nullable Boolean. And then we can have a discussion on lifted operators, which is fun. But I think that's a little cleaner. We'll do that. Okay, we're going to continue on. Mark that. Let's see. Input element content control. Okay, so just a clean way of defaulting tab stop off. Great. Let's see. Launch settings, don't care. Smart hint. This is big. Reapply fix equals true. Did I miss something? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. See, you were paying good attention, JC. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's continue through here. That's just a deletion. This is cleaning up the style. So a lot of this is just formatting changes. And this is the demo app, so I'm a little less concerned because at the end of the day, we're just going to start this thing up and make sure that the page looks correct. I mean, I'm just kind of spot checking some of these things for obvious failures. Static resources for styles, dynamic resources for colors, similar things. There's the uses of the element control. Great. It's interesting. The one thing I am noticing, this did downgrade it from a XAML display control. Was that the base class here? No, it's a content control. Interesting. Okay. We may have lost something here where before we were showing the XAML display of these. But we'll double check those. It's probably okay. But we'll double check that when we fire up the app. Okay, so these things are basically a bunch of the same. There's the font size converter. I don't think we've seen him yet. I don't know if that's new or old. Yeah, this is a big file. We're only 800 lines down, but it's a lot of the same stuff all the way through. Okay, more the same. Thank you, Nikolai, for separating this from the main PR, because that would have made that a little bit more miserable. Okay, that's fine. We're going to jet. Okay, there's the font size converter. What are we doing? We pull the double out. If it's nan, return unset. Okay, so it's... Okay, so it's basically nan to unset. Okay, great. Got it. I'm going to go fix this one real quick. Vertical alignment converter. This guy is also public, which I'm gonna keep it. I've been trying to keep an eye, but the only thing I saw here is this. So what are we doing? Stretch replacement. So in the event that vertical alignment is stretch, it puts that in, otherwise it lets it through. So it just forces things up. Okay. That's probably okay. There's nothing. Yeah, that's should be fine. Let's see. Oh, and this is already an existing converter. It just got pulled out. Okay, cool. Cool. That's easy enough. That's a namespace change. That's a namespace change. I have a dream at some point that these types of namespace changes, I would like a chat GPT type thing that does intelligent grouping of changes in a pull request. That is what I want. I've seen a lot of people who have been doing AI for code reviews, but it's like they want the AI to do the code review, which I think is the wrong way to approach it. Is I want the AI to show me the groups of changes. Like if there's a rename or a namespace change, tell me that. Let me approve the change once, and then don't show me every single instance of it. Right? If I want, like, I should be able to look into that group if I care. But most of the time, if it's like a rename, yeah, I want to approve the rename. But then I'm just going to assume that if my pipeline compiles and the tests pass, that the author probably renamed it everywhere. Just going to guess that, hypothetically. Okay, let's take a look here, because I'm wondering, the one thing I was interested in is, did we lose any of the XAML test stuff, and is that important? It's probably not important for this, because this is one of the things that, and I really appreciate Nikolai doing this, is he will set up these compare and contrast views so that it's really easy to see when because we've had a number of problems where, go to the side, where one of the controls just doesn't line up with the others or doesn't look like them, and it's a lot. See, you can see my, you can't see. When my wheel gets over the password box, it's hijacking the scroll because the other one hasn't gone in yet. But being able to compare how all of these things look. And I think these ones actually lend themselves well to not using show me the XAML. Because these ones serve a slightly different purpose. Currently only default supported. That's a clever use of the error identifier. Okay, perfect. I have no objections to this PR, and so we are going to send it. Great work, Nikolai. As always. Okay, cool. So that guy merges. Okay, so let's go back into this guy. I'm trying to, let me look. When was the last commit on this? 3 weeks ago. Yeah, because this was the one where I think I looked at this on my stream at one point, and there's an issue trying to figure out how to get the style name. And there's not. Let's check this one out and go. Oh shoot! I didn't merge my changes onto Nikolai's PR. Shoot. I forgot to push those before I approved the PR. Dang it. Pop, can I just add these? No. I shouldn't be bad. Let's see, create branch. We'll do it here. Okay, and then I'm gonna move this so I'm not doing things behind my big fat head. Let's see. File scoped namespace of converter, and then what was the view model change? Bindable property cleanup. There, and then commit push. Send it, and then we do this. And there was some feedback that I put out on get Kraken site, because I would really love to have a button in that pull request dialog that lets me set auto merge. That way I don't have to jump out to the web page to click the button. That'd be really convenient. And they updated the status this week to under consideration. So hopefully that means at some point there might be a checkbox on that dialog. That would make me happy because it would save me about 2 clicks. Okay, so this guy here of being able to try to get the style. I'm trying to remember. This is, let me look here. I think there was a, hang on 1 second. Let me check which workspace I have. That's Velopax workspace. There. Open this workspace. Okay. I think if I go and look at XAML test, I was playing around. No problem, JC. Have a good one. Don't have too much fun at work. I was trying to deal with getting access to the. Yeah, this was the problem that I was running into is for XAML test to work. Hey, Brand Muffins, thanks for the sub. For XAML test to work, it starts up your app. It basically starts up a gRPC server and it communicates between your test host and the running application. So it's legitimately running a full WPF app, which is great because then it behaves exactly like a WPF app because that's what it is. The problem is there's a communication barrier there and things are not always easily serializable. And so in order to send it, it would have to serialize the style. And the problem that I ran into here is trying to figure out how to get it. And the problem is at runtime, the X name or the key of it doesn't exist. And that was where I ran into the problem of trying to figure out how to be able to reference this to know if they were the same or not. And I think the way I worked around this before, let's check this out, is we cheat. Is you don't validate that the style is correct, but what you do is you set a property in the style and you check for that. That's usually my hack. Emphasis on hack, but it works, right? So let's go here. Let's see. Why are you still showing up? Shouldn't you be didn't I merge this? Did I merge you already? Oh, no, I didn't. This is my PR. Okay, I can't remember 30 seconds ago. Okay, let's go here. Check out. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do, dialog host tests. Go here. Dialog host tests. Right, and then this guy is around line 489. So Control RG, clean up that using 489. What? Dialog host tests. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. This is the problem when you have 2 dialog host tests, is sometimes you end up in the wrong one. And then you look dumb and confused. Look at that, we can use a primary constructor. Great. Okay, so let's go. And then the test in question was these last ones for 3430. These guys here. So this is doing what? This is bringing in and looking to use one of the built-in styles, which I think what we're going to do is we're going to do grid resources. Holy crap, Copilot. Okay, you lose points, Copilot, for not for using the wrong, like you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong, but you're not that wrong. You're actually pretty close. Pretty close. So this X key actually really needs to be based on so this really needs to be the based on, and then this is going to end up being let's see. Static resource, very similar to what's a little further down. And then we don't want the double quotes. That's wrong too. So see, Copilot, you're not that good. Still making me clean up your mess. Test style. Okay, now I don't know why that green thing came up. And then this thing is going to become test style. Right? And so we can grab the nested card, and then what we can assert on here is we can go assert equal colors red, await nested card, get background color, right? That should be red. So we know that it's our style getting used because this is explicitly keyed style. It's based upon one of these guys here as well. And then bippity boppity booyah. We can validate the property of it. I think that is correct. Send it. Let's see what happens. Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. Didn't fix them all. Didn't fix them all. I'm sorry. Hold on. Stop. Wait. Don't go yet. I'm not ready. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Izzy. My mistake. That really should be fuchsia. I'm going to let this run real quick. We'll fix it. We'll fix it before we push. It's interesting that those things didn't show up as red. That may be a bad... I may be looking at the wrong... No, this should be pop-up content element. Dialogue card style. The background may be something that gets set otherwise. Let's do tag. 42. Because that's something that won't get overridden elsewhere. But it's clearly compiling, so it's grabbing something. The red? I want my test explorer. Show me my test explorer. Where's my test explorer? Wrong window. Come here. Show me the error. Expected 42, actual 0. Well, that ain't right. So let's go here. And then on a breakpoint on that. Staring at this for one quick second before I get too carried away. Debug. And then we're going to go just hunt down what's... This is the nested card. Okay. We're at the breakpoint. Oh, this is hung now, though. Oh. Do I have attach set on this thing? Don't attach. Thanks. Remind me to not commit that change. That one we don't want to keep. It's on the dialog host. So this is a new property that's being added to the dialog host that allows a caller to set a style for the embedded card. So on the dialog host-ish. Okay, so if we come in here, and I'm just going to move this guy off to the side because he's now just in the way. Here's the card we have. Tag. Okay. Style. So this did get the test style. Am I missing something? Style, setters, sets the tag property, value to 42. Card property. Tag. Empty. What the? It's set from the parent template? Okay, hold up. What is... okay, hang on. Let's go take a little gander at what this is actually doing. Now, it's possible that the that property is being overridden. That is a possibility. But that makes me a little, that makes me give it a little bit of pause. Because the idea here is sometimes people want to tweak the card that's inside the dialogue to make it look, you know, different than the default. Okay, so that's, it's not, that style doesn't exist there. Yeah, that thing is getting a little big for my taste. I might have to go shrink it. But we come in here. Look at that. Tag is being used right there. We can't use tag. We can't use background. So even though you can set the style, there's a lot of things on here that just aren't going to work. But in the interest of, again, this is a PR where it's not being worse. What we can do is we can do foreground and we can do fuchsia. We can go back to the fuchsia idea. This should get foreground color. All right, get rid of that. And then this needs to be, so I fully anticipate that this this change, though it'll fix the one use case, is there are going to be bug reports on this. And they're not actual bugs, but they're going to be... What? Are you telling me foreground is used too? No, we just looked at it. Oh, dang nabbit, foreground's used there too. Okay, so what can I set on here that isn't already being set? Margin, maybe? Padding? No, margin's being set. I'm gonna order these. LMN. That's fine. I'll let the attached property live there. CFG, JJK, LMNOP, QRSTV. Great. Okay. Yay. Padding. Like, there's not a lot left on here. There's not a lot left. Because this is important to note, is styles cannot circumvent things that are explicitly set right on here. And some of these properties should probably move into the style rather than being explicitly defined here. Like the foreground being on the style is probably better. But I'd have to go look at this again. Let's do padding, I guess. Because thickness, and obviously 42 is the answer, right? So okay. And the fact that it took me 4 or 5 tries to get that figured out what property I could even set is why I suspect there will be bug reports. It is exactly why I suspect there will be bug reports. Oh, that looks big. Huzzah! We're working. Okay. So we're going to push this as a sample. And then we'll... let's see here. So let's go in here. What do we got here? So that's the change we don't want to commit. We definitely get rid of that. Let's see here. That was primary constructor. That was adding it there. That was adding it there. That change we want. Dialog host, we just cleaned up a using statement. We can keep that. This thing here was just me reordering. That's fine. Let's see. Adding example of doing the test rather than asserting on the style. It asserts on a set value from the style. There we go. Boom, send it. Okay, and that one we won't merge, but we'll let that one sit out there, and then I will chat with Nikolai and see what he wants to do with it, because it's probably worth. And look, my other PR merged, so we can clean up this branch. Yay, done. Cool. Okay, I think I'm probably going to call it for tonight because I am dragging and getting very slow. For next week, no stream. I will be gone to the Microsoft MVP Summit, which is an event that I look forward to every year. It's a time where Microsoft gets to kind of share a lot of the cool stuff that's coming with the MVPs, get feedback, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, it usually makes me really excited and giddy for all of the new stuff that's coming. And it's also almost all stuff that's under NDA, which means I won't be able to share most of it. So, yes, Izzy, I am taking a break off just to give you a chance to catch up. So no stream from me next week because I will be gone doing that. If there are any MVPs who are watching this between, let's see, March 6th and whatever 7 days plus March 6th is, feel free to catch me. Be great to meet up with anybody who is there. Other than that, I will tell everybody happy coding. See everyone in 2 weeks.